Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Alex, and today I will be showing you how to transpose a song through Ableton Live. How to transpose each individual stems so that way you can have more diversity in the keys that you do in all the songs and you're not just stuck on one key. This step-by-step process is a little time-consuming, it's a little tedious, but it is completely worth it. So let's get started. As you can see, I have my Here Again master session open. Here Again is the song we're going to be transposing, and we have it in the original key of D. So we have the master session open, and what we're going to be transposing it to today is the key of C. So we're going to be transposing it one key down. So since we have our master session open, what you want to do is first highlight all the stems. Highlight the whole song. Highlight it all together. Once it's highlighted, you want to Command C to copy. Command C. Come over here to the end, and we're just going to make a new set on this side. So we're going to start on the one right here. Command V to paste. And there you go. We have our new section made. Let's add a locator so we know where we're starting. And I'm just going to put a capital C. Capital C. Sweet. All right, so now we have our section made. We have our locator down, but it is still in the original key of D. Now we're going to begin going through each stem and transposing them individually. So we're going to start with our bass stem. We have everything laid out just like a regular session: bass, drums, click, guide, pads, guitars, and vocals, and then CG1 and 2 on the bottom. So we're going to double click on the bass stem, click it once it's highlighted, double click on the bar, on the top bar, and it's going to bring you to this tab right here. This is kind of like the editing tab where you can edit each individual stem. We have all these different settings and options that you can use, but today we're only going to be using this button right here is warp, this button right here that says beats, and then this little dial that says transpose. So what you first want to do is click on warp. Once you click warp, that basically what warping is doing is Ableton is analyzing the stem. It's analyzing it and making sure it's good for the session. So once you hit warp, you're going to come down here and hit beats. Go down to Complex Pro. Complex Pro. And then we're going to be clicking on transpose. So whenever you click transpose, it's going to go through semitones. So it's in the original key of D, and we're going to do 2 semitones down. So that way it's transposed to the key of C. So we already clicked on it, and we're going to go -2. Enter. As you can see, the transpose dial kind of went a little towards the left downward, meaning that the stem was transposed down. So we can minimize this on the bottom right corner. Minimize, and let's just hear it out and see what we got. I think it starts over here. We can solo it. Alright, and it's a good idea to have a keyboard or some kind of piano app just so you can verify that the key is in the correct key. So we just want to match it with the key of C. Alright, so that sounds pretty good. Alright, so we can stop it, unsolo, and our bass stem is done. What you want to do for each stem is kind of go towards the end and make sure that there are no cutoff points. Cutoff points meaning that the stem wasn't split into 2 or into sections, depending on how certain songs are ending or the way they want certain sessions done. they'll have kind of some cutoff points, so it'll kind of look something like this. Now it's still all in the same area, but it is not the same stem. This is one and this is another. So if I transpose this one, this will not transpose along with it because of the division it has right here. So kind of just make sure that there's no cutoffs, but we look good. So we are done with our bass stem. Now, drums, we are not going to be transposing, nor the click or the guide. We do not need to transpose those stems. So we're going to go down to our pads. We're going to open up the group. And as you can see, we have keys 1 through 3. We have percussion live, percussion, piano, strings, and synth bass. So we're going to be transposing all of these stems except for percussion live and percussion. These are just regular percussion stems. Just like the drums, we're not going to be transposing them. So if I select keys, make sure there are no cutoff points at the end. Now we're going to hold down shift and go all the way down to keys 3. If you hold shift and click on keys 3, it's going to select all 3 of them at one time. Once I have them all 3 selected, I'm going to double click and it's going to open all 3 of them up in the editing tab. As you can see, we don't see no WAV files and there are less editing options that we have. However, the warp, beats, and transposing option is still there. We can do it all at one time. So we're going to warp all the stems. We're going to click on beats and go down to Complex Pro. And then we're going to do the same exact thing we did with the bass. We're going to go down to semitones. -2, enter. So now our keys stems should be transposed. Let's open one up and hear it out. Right here. Not giving us much. Let's try this out over here. Sounds pretty good to me. Let's check this one out. Alright, we should be good with those. Alright, so we can close these keys down. We have all of those transposed. We're not going to be doing percussion live or percussion. And we're going to go down to piano, strings, and synth bass. So the same exact thing we did with keys. We're going to select piano, hold shift, go down to synth bass, and it's going to highlight all 3 of them simultaneously. We're going to double click, and it's going to open them all up. Same exact process. We're going to do warp, beats, go down to Complex Pro, and then we're going to go down to semitones. -2, enter. We're going to go back and just verify that our keys are aligned. So we can go here to piano, solo the piano. Get out your little piano app and kind of verify that key as well. Nope, let's see. Come down, check our strings. Our pads. So yeah, we should be good with our strings, and that's gonna be all for our pads group. All right, now we're gonna do our guitars. So we're gonna open up our guitars group, and we have 4 guitars all together. Same thing we did with keys. We're gonna select, hold shift, select all 4, and we're gonna double click, keep holding shift, double click, and same exact thing. We're gonna warp it. We're gonna select beats, come down to complex pro, and -2 semitones. Enter. Close this down, and we'll just check our guitars. So let's solo this one. That sounds good. Make sure they're all. This one doesn't come until later. All right, we should be good with all of the guitars. We can unselect, unsolo, and we'll get out of there. Last but not least, we're going to be doing our vocals. So we have our choir and then our individual vocals. We're going to select, shift, select, double click. Same thing, we're going to warp it. Come down to complex pro. And we're going to go -2 semitones. Enter. Close that out, and we'll just check our vocals. So solo. Come Holy Spirit, dry bones awaken. The Lord is in this place. The Lord is in this place. Not for a minute was I forsaken. The Lord is in this place. We'll go down on the next one. We should be good with our vocals. After that, we're gonna go and just kind of verify that everything sounds good. So we're gonna go on a peak part of the song and just hear it out. Make sure that nothing sounds out of the ordinary, making sure the bass isn't too low or the guitars aren't ridiculously too high, anything like that. Just depending on how much you change the key, some things can sound kind of weird and you might need to alter it some more. So we'll kind of start it here and just hear it out. I still have this soloed.
Chorus.
All right, so everything sounds good. So after that, you want to save and collect all the stems all together. So go to File, Collect All, and Save. Enter, and we are done. And that is how you transpose a song through Ableton Live.